Hey girly pops, it's Zoe London from Pauvre Boson, and this video is for anybody that needs a little bit of convincing or perhaps a reminder that it is safe for you to dream big. When you were young, you probably had the biggest aspirations and dreams for yourself and for what you were going to do when you grew up. Maybe you wanted to be something specific and exciting, like a pop star or an astronaut or an archaeologist, or maybe you had ideas about how you wanted to live your life when you grew up. Like maybe you wanted to be super rich, or you wanted to live on an island, or you wanted to travel the world, or to have pet horses. So why do we stop dreaming so big? As we grow up, especially when we become teenagers and we start to feel a bit jaded about the world around us, our perspective toward the world shifts. And because of that, the lens through which we see the opportunities and possibilities available to us gets a bit smaller. Not only that, but as you start to actually become yourself and grow into the fully autonomous human being that you are, the way that the grown-ups and authority figures around you approach the concept of your goals, hopes, and dreams, and the way that they give you advice about them often starts to become less expansive and more practical. So depending on your cultural background, your parents may have had really high expectations of you and steered you away from any career path that was deemed too risky and low paying, and instead pushed you toward practical professions like medicine, dentistry, law, engineering, or accounting. Or maybe you had low expectations placed upon you, like teachers that pushed you away from learning university level math and steered you toward applied math instead, because they decided that your grades were a reflection of your ability to do math and not a reflection of their subpar teaching. Maybe your parents never went to college or university at all, and so those options didn't even really seem like they were on the table for you. When you're told that your world includes only a few directions, it's hard to be able to think beyond those options. It's even harder to go against what you've been told to do and fumble around in the darkness of the unknown to get to where you've actually dreamed of going. Sometimes that can feel next to impossible. Still, even though you want to be able to make the people around you happy, you're never going to stop dreaming big. Those big dreams are still in the background. They've just become quieter, or maybe you've put them into an induced coma. But it is the human prerogative to dream. Dreaming is the most delicious dilemma of consciousness that we've got. Dreaming is what makes you human. Dreaming is what makes you feel alive in those moments of pure possibility. And dreaming is what keeps you alive in the moments when you feel you have nothing else to live for. And dreaming isn't some useless, time-wasting, hedonistic pleasure source either. Dreaming is the singular seed of every invention, every single innovation, every single artwork. Without dreaming, we wouldn't be human. So why aren't we pushed to keep dreaming big? One lesson that I have learned the hard way is that there are two types of advice that you can get from people. The first type of advice is the type of advice that you want. It is from a person who feels that they are in control of their life. They're either happy with where they are in life or they're happy with where they're going. Let's call this kind of person a driver. The advice that you receive from a driver will be advice that is about you, it's for your situation, and it's considered with your best intentions at heart. The second type of advice is the type of advice that you want to steer clear from. Advice from people who are not happy with their lives and who do not feel that they have the control to change their lives. A victim mentality, it's not always super obviously like, I'm a victim of everything. Oftentimes, it comes in the subtler form of, my life would be like this if only this had happened or had not happened. I would do this, but I had more responsibilities. I could have, but life just got in the way. So let's call this type of person a passenger. Do not be fooled by the passenger and their multitude of excuses. Drivers have just as many responsibilities in their lives as passengers. They also have unexpected circumstances happen in their lives, and they also take care of the needful but they still find the courage within them to pursue their passions, pursue their dreams and interests, and better their lives. So from personal experience, as an example, as someone who has been through a ridiculous amount of messed up stuff, I've dug really deep within myself to become a driver in my life and make sure that I'm not a passenger. So I view my lived experience as an interesting, winding road that has led me to a much better place than I could have actually possibly imagined for myself as a 25-year-old when I was younger. And so for me, my dream job when I was a kid was to be a Disney Imagineer. And now I'm actually thinking even bigger, and I want to build and help build things for like the actual Earth and not just Disney World, which is, I don't know, even cooler. In my opinion, I'm so happy. I view the tragedies that I experienced as situations that taught me empathy. And I view my failures, regardless of external circumstances, as situations that taught me humility and gave me the opportunity to reevaluate my goals and decide if I wanted to get back up again and keep trying until I got it done. And every time I have decided to keep going. A passenger will never sound like this when they are talking about their lived experience. That is how you will know the difference. I'm really hammering in what a passenger is because I do not want you to fall into the passenger advice trap. Advice from someone who is a passenger in their own life will never be about you. It will always serve to validate to the passenger why they were the victim of their own circumstance and why their life choices were acceptable. For example, if your dream, is to become a top corporate lawyer, and you're asking about undergraduate program advice from your political science teacher who applied to go to law school, failed the LSAT the first time around, and decided to do something else altogether because the LSAT was too hard and they felt like they were too much of a failure to have the courage and the discipline to just study harder and take it again, they will make sure that you know how hard the LSAT was, how scarily competitive a field corporate law is, how they heard from a friend of a friend that working as a corporate lawyer is just too exhausting and the pay isn't worth it. And you will walk away from that conversation doubting whether or not you even want to go to law school. That is the kind of advice that you will get from a victim. Advice from a victim will limit your worldview to match theirs. And if you take that advice at face value, you will believe that you have less options. So I'm giving you one of the best mental tools that you can have in your critical thinking toolkit. Write it down, memorize it, bring it out whenever you are reflecting on your life path and your life trajectory. This question is one of the most empowering questions that you can possibly ask yourself. And that question is, am I dreaming too big, or have I been given advice from other people that makes them feel better about themselves? If your dream is to walk around on the moon without a spacesuit on, then yes, you are dreaming too big because you cannot breathe the air on the moon and you will die immediately. But beyond dreams like that, if your dream is realistic, as in it doesn't involve piloting an exploratory spacecraft where the other crew members are dinosaurs, which is low-key my biggest wish in the world, it is attainable. Pretty much nothing is actually out of reach if you turn your dreams into tangible goals. Make a plan for achieving your goals. Make sure that it involves some backup plans and room for maneuvering because life happens. And integrate, basic requirements for maintaining and reinvesting in yourself, like how you can financially support yourself and make sure that you develop or have employable skill sets that you can fall back on if it takes a bit longer to execute your plan than expected. You don't have to have rich parents to be able to achieve big goals. You just have to move smart and make money and then make that money work for you. The only thing that is actually between you and achieving your goals is time. If you want to do big things, you must have the discipline to keep persevering and working towards your goals until you achieve them. When you set a goal for yourself and you make a plan to achieve it, the hardest thing you will ever do in your life is simply continue. You don't even have to believe that you can achieve your goals every single day. All you have to do is believe in yourself enough to take each step forward. It doesn't matter if everything goes according to plan. and it most likely won't. You will fall down, there will be setbacks, and when you're down, things can start to feel a little scary. When you're fumbling around in the unknown without a flashlight, you're bound to bump into the darkness a couple times. But you have to remember that when you're down, your next task is just to get back up. And the more that you can trust that you can get back up, the more you can trust yourself and the more you can trust that you can keep going. Plus, honestly, the thing about adulthood is that it's basically just a journey of learning how many ways you can fall down and get back up anyway. So you might as well make an adventure of the whole thing and go in the general direction of your biggest dreams at the very least, right? Like, otherwise, what are you even doing with your time? Just do it, right? Dream big, dream expansively, dream with hunger, dream so big that it makes the people around you uncomfortable. Then all you need to do is define your dream as a goal or set of tangible goals. That's step one. Make an actionable plan as to how you can achieve those goals and keep yourself alive as a bare minimum in the meantime, and then just execute the plan and then don't give up, which is like 4 steps. And it's not even really a big deal. It's just only 4 steps. So to conclude, it is safe for you to dream big. Is it safe for you to make that dream happen? Not necessarily, but it does sound fun. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you want to turn your dream into a goal and you don't know where to start, I've gone ahead and created a handy dandy little guide to creating your game plan to achieving your biggest dreams that you can purchase as a PDF and fill out digitally, or print and fill it out, or use as prompts in your journal. The link is in the bio of this video. You should also check out my silly little Sleepy Zo playlist of 100 classical songs, that I've especially arranged for sleeping. It's the best, honestly. And the links to that down below they're down below. Sorry, I got nervous at the end. Stream Girl Boss 2, if you'd like. And I'm going to be releasing some of my old tunes soon from my little COVID EDM production phase. And because I am a hashtag YouTuber now, definitely like, comment, and subscribe to my channel, because this is the second of many more videos to come that might help give you some perspective. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to question everything. Okay, bye, girl bosses.